Well, I had a little problem here. My belt ripped apart. I think I might have had it a little bit too tight, and it was riding up on the ledge of the pulley. Started to pull apart. And the bad thing about it is I don't have a long enough one to replace it unless I kind of just crimp a couple belts together to get by. And I might do it just for testing reasons, see how everything's gonna work. It'd be kind of nice to get this thing up and running. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. We can get a belt pieced in here and get this thing working. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's take this off and see if we can get things working better for us here. So I almost think this might have been a little bit of the problem here, having this set screw, because it almost seemed like it pinched one side harder than the other, caused a little bit of twist on the belt. So that might have been some of the issue there. So not sure if I'm going to use those bolts next time. Let's get this opened up here if we can. Might not be able to, it's pinched pretty good. We'll just go ahead and make a new one. So what I have going on here is I got this belt pinched around itself, around a little 5/16 dowel. And what that's going to do is it's going to go into here, and that doesn't work either. But what I have going here is my belt already squished in here, and I got a little 5/16 dowel in there. What will happen is this will slide in here, and I will get this little dowel, and this will shove all the way through so it's installed here. So let's see if we can do it right here. Let's get it into position here, just like that. See? Held it in place. So I got it where it needs to be. Now we'll go ahead and put this back together here and see what I need to do on this other end. Okay, I'm really close. So I think all I need to do is just piece this belt together here. So we're going to turn this belt the other way, and that will allow me to look for the bolt I just took out. Oh, there it is. That'll allow these belts, the teeth, to mesh up to each other and actually lock together, so that way I can get this piece moving here. Okay, got my little piece to slide on up here. There we go, I got the two pieces together, and now we'll just tap it down a little tighter here. Now we're together, we can put it back on and tension this belt down. Oh, I didn't have this tight enough. Well, that's interesting. I'm pretty sure I did. Now I don't even know if I can get it back together. I'll tell you what, I got another one here. Well, today we are going to make our X-axis and get it ready for the Z-axis. So I'm going to take a piece of this aluminum angle, and it'll be used to attach some things together here. I'm not even sure if I'll use all 4 holes. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal on this. If I need to, I'll have to actually notch this out for the top one, and I might go ahead and do that. On the bottom, I'm just going to catch 2 holes. That bottom one is just more for stability than anything down here. So I'll just catch the 2 holes. On top here, like I said, depending, I might go ahead and notch this out, and there will be another plate, and this will be attached to that plate. And it's just going to hold the face and then everything together. But the piece that comes on the back here is also going to hold my motor, and then it's going to come up, and then I'll have a place where it holds my motor for my Z-axis. So I'll get those going. But this is the first one I'm building, learning a lot. Maybe once I get some use out of it, maybe I'll turn around and sell it, use that money to build something better, better framework and everything on it. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I need something, and this will do the job, just maybe not ideally. So we'll get what we have, get everything working, and then move from there. Some things that I would do different. I wouldn't use these like risers here. If you notice, a lot of people will have like some bridge work, and especially for this size, that's not a big deal to load stuff on from the front, and you can easily reach over on the side and adjust things. And by doing that, all you basically need is this top part here to run on your rails or tracks or whatever you have. That's probably something I would do if I was to build another one. I would not use this, and it would lighten the load of everything a lot more. You can still get your height out of everything, and I think you'd be a lot more stable. That's neither here nor there. Let's build this bracket here. So all I'm gonna need for these, I'm gonna have to cut two of these angle iron brackets out. One good way of cutting angle iron is to set it up like this. It makes a lot smoother cut, because when you start at one point, right away it widens out and you got more teeth hitting your metal. Rather, if you put it up on edge like this, it's got to run down. It'll run down really quick, and then it'll slow down and not get you a good cut. At least that's what I've noticed anyways. I like to cut it this way. I just think it does a lot better this way. As you guys can see, I got my heater because it's cold out here in the shop right now. So we don't need this open right now. We need to go to here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's it. I was just playing around on here. Let's delete those. I don't want those here. Not needed. I'm just looking what I need to do here. So this is kind of a rough sketch of what I need. And this is changing. It's not going to be quite that way. So I'll remeasure this, but really what I want to see is the length of this. Piece is 400 millimeter. Okay, so I'm getting a lot longer. I don't need the 400 millimeter. I think I only need the 200. So 200 would give me, what is that, about 8 inches, roughly. So 8 inches of travel there. So I just need to make sure I come back far enough here that I have enough room for my motor. So I gotta do some measurements here, make sure I have the clearance I need, and then make sure I have clearance for a belt here. So I gotta check everything out. So that's a rough drawing of what I need. Well, so I messed up. I made these and I didn't make a video of me making them. I was going to make the fourth one and I was going to put that on video, but then I realized I can't put a fourth one here because I do not have enough room for this. So when this is going to be here, I won't have enough room to run this. So I'm going to have to leave that one off, and we'll run it like that. It won't quite be straight. It'll be off at an angle a little ways, and that will allow me to still mount it and have this out of the way. But I did break an ear on one of the other ones, so I think I'm going to try to use this one down there, and then this one I am going to this one I'm going to use down there, and then the other one I'm going to bring up, the one that has a broken tab, since I only need 3 of them anyways. And I'll bolt that together there, and that should do it for me. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And I have this plate I need to mount here. This will be mounted to it also. Shaft will come to the top, and then we'll have other stuff on top. So that's what we're going to be using. Just got to start building it, getting ready to go. Okay, so I have my plate. Okay, so here is my plate that I need to be drilling some holes in here. So here's my sketches here. So this is where my bearing is going to mount. These are my 2 idler bearings. That slot is far over here. These slots here, those are going to be for my motor, where that's going to attach and slide them out. You can see where they're not lined up right, so it's kind of twisted a little bit to allow for that extra room for my belt and pulley. So that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to do some drawing here. I need my scribe. Okay, I found my scribe. So we're going to mark this first measurement here, and that one is 237. So make sure 0.237. That's really close right there. So you can go ahead and do this to get some of those lines in there. So I need 1.152, 0.688. And then we need 2481. We need 1152, 352, 2.037. Now we'll go ahead and center punch everything. So sometimes you can feel your point go into the groove, and then you just roll it right up on that tip. You make sure your tip is going to touch inside there. And even if you don't get it right, you can usually kind of work it to where you need it to be and then give it a good smack down. Usually will work. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. Got all our holes in. I might trim some of this off. We'll see how things are going to line up. I might need to. These holes, I'm not going to probably use any of these. I'll probably trim a little of this down, so that way I'm not sticking too far off the back once I get it mounted. But we'll get these holes drilled. So drilling all these holes will be relatively easy. These, I need to drill and slot those. Okay, so now I'm ready to get this all drilled up. So I will put cap screws on these, because with cap screws you can get them a lot tighter than you can with the Phillips head. That way you don't lose any adjustment. So yeah, everything looks pretty good here. So we know those are good. Now we can go ahead and drill our other holes out, and then drill out how we're going to mount this. And then I got to make another piece that'll kind of help hold everything together so I don't break anything. So I'm just going to put you guys in warp speed. You guys don't need to watch me drill every hole. So we can get this done real quick here. X-axis is now on. Now I need to make my belt holder and tensioner. One thing you can see here, I'm not perfectly straight, so it's going to be pulling at an angle just because of room here. So I probably could have moved this over a little more because you can see where I have the belts. I can still go back about a 1/4 inch, and I could have probably even milled them out a little further. But I wasn't sure how everything was going to be, so that is where it is. I think it'll do all right. The belt will come across kind of funny, but I think it'll work just fine. Gotta get those made, and then I need to install these rollers. I don't have my extrusion yet, but this will be for my Z-axis, and the extrusion will go up and down here, and the motor will be mounted to the top, and it should work pretty good that way. I'm going to pull this off and get it set up so I can drill and tap it so I can install my rollers. That's what I'm going to be doing now. Okay, so for setting this up, this is going to be the bottom side and this is the top side. So this is going to go down here. So we need to measure a few things. We need to measure how wide this is, so that way we can locate it in the correct place. And then what we'll do is we'll just run this here, pick up that edge, and then we'll do a square mark down here. I'm not sure if I need any more than that. I think 3 will hold that plenty. So let's go ahead and drill it, and then we'll tap it, and we might taper these holes to put. Probably don't need to actually, but I might go ahead and just taper them so that we countersink them, so that way things settle flush. You could technically drill these holes out on here and install everything on here. I would need longer bolts, or sink them in on the other side, which I could do. But I don't think I want to do that. I think it's easier just to stick it on the front, call it good, make it easy. Let's go ahead and drill these in warp speed. On your wire snippers, a lot of them have a place for a bolt to go through. This one has 632 and 832. So you can stick your bolt in there, the depth you need it, and try to cut these things. These are stainless, so I think they're a little harder to cut. There we go. And you got to pull them out. And then it'll kind of clean your threads up. Then you go ahead and get everything screwed in here. So let's go ahead and do a test fit here. Okay, so I did notice I was off a little bit. I noticed when I was flipped it over, I wasn't centered anymore. So it's not a huge deal being off a little bit. It's just not where I would have wanted it. So I don't know how it got moved over to have that set right there. Oh, I guess it works good for that side, but not the other side. So I was off a little bit. Must have bumped this in or something. But there it is. Not bad. Not perfect, but not bad.